Thank you, Dr. Basaliwa. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is part of our effort to improve what we are doing as entrepreneurs so that we can continue contributing to the growth of our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited this morning as we talk about the quality, the issue of quality. Quality is so dear to my heart. As someone who is very familiar with the entrepreneurial landscape here in Uganda, I really appreciate the energy, the resilience of our businesses in Uganda. In Uganda, we have been labeled as one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world. We have many innovators, we have problem solvers, people who build dreams as they run businesses. And whereas we excel in many areas, it is also true that our businesses suffer. Our businesses suffer with consistently delivering value to their customers, exceeding customer expectations, conforming to requirements. And as such, it is very important that we talk about quality. How do we build a culture of quality in our businesses? As a consumer in Uganda, as somebody who has interacted with businesses, you'll also agree that there are times when you find a business lacking and you feel you don't want to go back there again. You sometimes feel let down. Today you have a very good product or service on the market, and tomorrow it is something different. And I can tell you that the failure to deliver quality will definitely affect the ability of the business to survive, and most of all, to grow. It doesn't grow. And if it happens that the competition grows, then these businesses actually put off the market. So this morning we want to talk about quality, and I'm very happy to introduce Priscilla Batenga. Priscilla Batenga is going to be sharing with us on quality. Priscilla is an ISO certified lead auditor, ISO 9001, 14001, 45001. Now, Priscilla, you need to tell us what these are. But we know that you're a certified person. She's a customer experience specialist, and she's presently the human resource business partner with Chagalanyi Coffee. Priscilla holds an MBA from ESAMI. Priscilla, you're very welcome to share with us on how we can build quality, a culture of quality in our businesses. You have 40 minutes to make your presentation, and thanks for accepting to come and share. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. I hope everybody can hear me. Dr. Diana, can you confirm?
Yes, Priscilla, we hear you well. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present on building a quality-centric culture in our businesses. My name is Priscilla Batenga Mazzi, and I'm a certified lead auditor in quality management systems, health and safety, and environmental management systems. Like Dr. Diana has rightfully said, I am also a customer service professional with 10 plus years in customer service, both quality of service and also as a trainer. So today we're going to speak about building a culture of quality in our businesses. I hope we can use the chats. So as I'm discussing, I'll be posing a few questions. I request the teams to just use the chat and put a few answers there. I like the first video that we had, the lion mode or mentality. Customers, if we are going to serve our customers better, if you're going to retain our market shares, if you're going to improve our businesses, if you're going to be investor ready, we need to build a lion mode or a lion mentality in regards to quality. My first question would be, what is the definition of quality? Can I have a few people drop into the chat the definition of quality, what they think quality is to them? But importantly to note is we have to balance both quality of service and quality of products, ladies and gentlemen. So each one of us that is an entrepreneur on this group, it means that quality is central to you improving your sales, to being investor ready, to building a brand or a legacy, and also to ensuring that you have customer loyalty, you have repeat businesses. Like they rightfully say, a happy customer is the best form of advertisement or marketing. So I'm not seeing any answers. Dr. Dana, can you see any answers? Maybe I'll just proceed and define quality in the interest of time. So quality is defined by different people. So it is different people or different stakeholders define quality differently. As a customer, I believe you have your own key focus areas for quality. I buy a red shoe to meet quality, to someone it's a black shoe. I use a red lipstick to meet quality, to someone it's a nude color lipstick, okay? That can also be definition of quality. To others, it is consistency. You walk into CJ, you are sure that everything you see on that menu, you will receive. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Quality is the desirable standard of something. Exactly. Sometimes it's the desired standard. I desire a red car, a red VTs, and someone desires a black Benz ML. That is quality to me, that is quality to that person. So what does that mean? It means that quality is defined by customers, not by you, the manufacturers. So we have to be next to our customers, understand the needs and the requirements. Thank you so much, Sylvia. Fitness for purpose. I am buying a bulb. Is the bulb giving me the light? I'm not buying the bulb, actually. I'm buying the light that I'm getting from the bulb. So for us to build a customer-centric culture, we have to be next to our customers, listen to our customers, make it easy for them to complain to us, understand what they need from us. We have brands in Uganda, and please feel free to share some examples that began as small as we have begun, okay? That we look up to. So it is very easy and it's possible for us to build a quality-centric culture. Honorable Roy, quality is that one thing that meets or exceeds, keyword being exceeds customer expectations. We do not meet customer expectations. We exceed, we wow the customer. We go over and above what they expect from us. That is quality. It is consistency. So from all your definitions, it's very clear that there are set parameters or standards that the customer has. So us being able to conform to the requirements of the customer, it is quality. So if you're going to build customer-centric businesses, you cannot walk away from your customer. You have to work with your customer. So quality is meeting the needs and expectations or the set standards from the consumers of your product. It's also important to note that we even have regulators who define quality for us. We've had oftentimes that KCCA has gone and has closed some restaurants, okay, has closed off some businesses because the characteristics that should fulfill the requirements of KCCA have not been met. James has just given us the international definition of quality, a degree to which characteristics of fulfillment have been met. So it is important as we are building this customer-centric culture, this quality-centric culture, to understand what does the regulator need from us? What does UN need from me if I am going to remain in business as a hotel or as a restaurant or as a bar? Okay, it's very important to understand that. So away from what quality is, let's move, and we've also seen what customers want from us: fitness for purpose, reliability, consistency, customer service, easy to complain to them. Recently, I told my kids I'm not buying KFC anymore. I went to Lugogo, bought a Streetwise 5, 40,000. I walked away with a Streetwise 3. I checked my receipt. There was too much traffic. The receipt did not even have the customer care number or the contact number. They did not make it easy for me to complain to them. It took me going to Google and looking for the different contacts. I called, raised my complaint, and I was told to drive from my home in Rubaga to go back to Lugogo and pick my 2 missing pieces of chicken. It's a big brand. It is consistent in terms of the taste of the food, the look and the feel, okay? The branding, they are respecting the environment. But when it came to the service, they lost it. And you see, that is exactly what happens with our customers. It doesn't matter how many times you have failed them. Sometimes all we need is for you to make it easy for us to complain. Okay, so what are the biggest challenges to quality? I've not seen anyone share brands. Maybe I can go ahead and share some of the brands. I don't know what comes into your mind when you think of CJ. I don't know what goes through your mind when you think of Jessa. We have Bella Wine. We saw Bella Wine start to where they are today. We've seen Pot Water. I remember a few years back, Pot Water used to supply to a few restaurants. My friend had a restaurant and she was part of the beneficiaries of Pot Water, and we're doing product testing. Today, when I see Pot Water all over, I'm just like, yeah, she or he made it. So we can build a brand, we can be consistent. The biggest challenges to building quality-centric businesses are quite many, but they are simple and we can sort them. We'll start with suppliers. So most of us have businesses, okay? But we depend on somebody else for certain inputs. You have honey, a honey business. You are supplying honey, but you do not brand for yourself. There is someone out there that is branding for you. Please make sure that the person you have outsourced to your services or any part of your services is very clear on your quality parameters and requirements. Give them checklists. You cannot have, I'm just looking at myself here on the screen. The blue I'm seeing today, I don't expect to see ink blue next time I am seeing a poster from Makerere University Business School. The color has to remain the same. The font has to remain the same. We have lost so many sales as business entrepreneurs because of branding related issues. You walk into a supermarket and you're thinking, no, wait a minute. Last time I bought Smart yogurt, it had leaf green. This is lemon green. I think this is a counterfeit. And you've lost a sale. It wasn't a counterfeit, but you did not control your externally provided services. Some of us, we are running businesses and they are side hustles. Or we have scaled so much, we have not defined how far we can deliver. Now we are depending on third parties to deliver. You have that border guy deliver you shea butter to us or honey to us. But who are you sending to your customers? How presentable are they? What are they saying to your customers? So that is a key point or a key touch point where we need to control quality and ensure we are not losing it. Mindset. We think quality is expensive. We think quality is about big systems and ISO, and no. Quality is consistent. Quality is getting it right the first time. Quality is being detailed. Another gap we have is knowledge gap. It's important if we are going to ensure that we build quality, we train quality, we build this culture, we need to have the knowledge. You only give what you have. You can only give what you have. So as business owners, we need to go and get this knowledge. There is a lot of knowledge on the internet, a lot of knowledge. We no longer have a reason not to know. So it's important that we go online, Google exactly what you want to know. I am very sure you'll get information. Take courses from Allison, free certification courses from Allison, from Udemy, from EDX. Read about quality step by step. We have mentioned brands. I see, I'm not yet seeing a Ugandan brand as yet. I see Sheraton, MTN, KFC. Okay, I've seen CJ. You know, I'm sure that this center can bring to us these business owners, the decision makers in these businesses, to give us practical tips on how they managed to ensure that they build a quality-centric business. Yugachik has been here for years, and I'm sure it is still here with us. They set the pace, they were trendsetters, and they're still good at what they're doing because quality was at the core of their business. Okay, so I want us to move very fast and look at the practical steps to building a quality-centric culture. Number one, as leaders, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we need to set the tone. We need to set the tone. We need to prioritize quality. In our daily meetings, with our suppliers, with our teams, let's speak about quality. Let's emphasize the need to do things the right the first time. We have made losses as businesses when our teams or our suppliers don't do things the first time. I did give an example of branding, the actual branding. So imagine your supplier brought, you're using ink blue, and this time they branded sky blue, and you have to go back and reprint this. If it's at their cost, you're losing time. If you are the supplier of this branding material, you're going to probably rebrand this at your own expense, and that is wastage. So let's speak the need to do things fast at the right time. Let's build positive energy around quality. Celebrate small wins. Set objectives around that this week we are going to check on our customers. However, let us aim for 0 complaints from our customers or 0 returns. And if that happens and you've hit the weekly target or the monthly target, celebrate it, talk about it, build a positive energy. We also need to define our non-negotiables. We've seen companies that have what they call the customer charter. Have a quality charter. What do you stand for as a business? We will always deliver on time. We will always communicate clearly with our customers. We will double check our work before delivery, something like that, and share it with the team. It's in the face of the team every day. They are seeing this. It is a reminder of your commitment to quality and to your customers. So let's keep this list in their faces. It should be very visible. Keyword being, we need to remind them of our commitment to quality. If you are going to build a customer-centric culture, just keep it very simple. The trick is documentation. Some of us, our businesses are so small, you are doing everything. Your strategy, your operations, your procurement, you are delivering, or you've outsourced part of the delivery, you do your boot sales, then along the way you give the border guy, your everything, you get lost. Please have a checklist, a simple checklist of what has to be done. I am delivering honey, 20 bottles, check, 20 bottles. Number 1 on your checklist is confirm customer requirement, and go back and check, okay, what did Diana ask for? She said 20 tins of 1 liter. Please don't give her 20 tins of 2 liters. She said 1 liter. Okay. Then number 2, check on delivery address. Is it the right delivery address? Don't put Bukasa of Muyenga when she met the other Bukasa around, I don't know, Mokono or somewhere else, or Namuongo or that other side. Okay. So make sure that you have a checklist. Are they the right qualities, the right quantities, the right So check for the specifications. Away from specifications, for example, delivery address, let's make sure we have checklists. For our teams that do a bit of production, from the start, check, what do? I wash my hands first, clean my hands, then I do A, B, C. It's like preparing tea. It's very, you cannot put tea leaves in the kettle before you put water. And you need fire, whether you want it or not, whatever form of fire. So let's put that in simple English or in a simple language. Not all the people work with understand English. Write it down, document it in bullet point in a language they understand. Some of us understand it better with pictures. Just make it very simple, but make it very visible. Okay. And we need to communicate to our employees and our suppliers. I cannot be your border guy that does your final delivery to the end user, but I'm not passionate about quality. The quality is between you and your employees. Yet I am facing the customer. So it's important that the employees, your suppliers in your ecosystem, and everybody in your value chain understands your quality parameters. Let's share the expectations. Let's give them those checklists. Let's encourage them and celebrate those that exceed the expectations or meet our quality expectations. Now we have said, now we've written, now what we've communicated. What next? We need to inspect what we are doing. When you put the standards there, when you're talking and you have the objectives and they're very clear what you want to achieve in regards to quality, 0 returns, you don't want reworks, you want delivery on time, how are you performing in this regard? Do routine checks. During my time in telco, we used to have what was called mystery shopping. I don't know if it still happens, Someone in the customer service department would get anybody outside the ecosystem, the employee ecosystem of Airtel, and ask them to call and pause. At some point, you're going to get a friend to pause as a customer, to call in and place an order. Give them a template or ask them what went wrong and what went well. You are checking your teams. You see, if I call in and I ask for shea butter, I tell Dr. Then I need shea butter or cassava flour, she will tell her team, please send Priscilla this. They will make sure everything they do is on point, because guess what? The referral has come from the business owner. This time get someone, they do not know it's coming from you. Let them place the order, make that sale, pay for that order, and pick key learning areas, what went wrong and what didn't go well. So inspection is very important for us to check how far we have come in meeting or in improving our quality. So tiny steps, they really make a very big difference. Getting customer feedback, which I did mention right at the start, customers really define quality. So it's important for us to know what they want. If you're going to be a business entrepreneur, then we cannot work like our teams, we know they are business people, they're not entrepreneurs. They're there, the business is there. I believe Dr. Dana can you through the difference between a business owner and entrepreneur. So for them, they're there to make the money there. Okay. Same capital, same amount, they do not care. But if you care and you want a business to grow bigger than you and leave a legacy and leave it for your children's children, you need to move with your customer. You make sure that you are relevant to their needs and you are getting their complaints. Because we have agreed with my example of KFC, a good product with poor service cannot retain that customer for you. We have to balance good quality service and good product quality. We need to be accountable. Now that you set your objectives, you set your commitments, then be accountable. So take note of these things. When you are getting customer feedback, how are you tracking it? Every time I call a place and I have a complaint or a request, and I have a number they are claiming is the customer service number, the moment I do not hear anything like this call will be recorded for quality monitoring purposes, I know I am at the mercy of God to get my issue resolved. And it's exactly what happened with KFC. Now, can we all at this stage afford that recording? No. What can we harness? Harness things as simple as WhatsApp groups. Your customers should have a WhatsApp group that when they come and capture a complaint, you can, at the end of the day, go through the complaints and see what was solved and what was not solved. We have our customer service numbers, but we have given them to our teams and we are busy with our 8 to 5 p.m. job. What goes in between, we don't know. For business owners that are really not in their businesses, you have a shop out there, an outlet out there, you are not there. You need to ensure that you have clear control points for you to visibly see what is going on, to visibly check what is going on, to visibly follow up on customer voice and customer complaints. If it means having Google Sheets, please go ahead, have those Google Sheets. So we need to track. Having an avenue of complaining is not good enough. The avenue should give you visibility as the business owner to see what's going on. Because many customers have called in, but they have not received any support. Are we still together?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are together, Priscilla.
Okay, so I had lost track of the chats. I see Bake For Me, Hot Love, Sparkles Salon, Rena Beverages. Yeah, these are companies that have really set the pace, and they are Ugandan companies. And what they are doing well is basically all or part of the steps that I have just shared with us, that it's important to set the tone and the pace as business owners. I don't know how much time I have, but I believe I don't have more than 5 minutes. And let me just wrap up this session by saying that we need to remember quality is not complicated. Let's get as much training, as much knowledge. UNBS, for example, has a calendar. When you go through their calendar, their rates, their training rates are between 250 and the most expensive is 400. And they're training on quality. Quality for food sector, quality for grains, those dealing in grains, minimum understanding of ISO. So let us go. MUBS could be having something in quality. Let us get the knowledge. Let us pick from those who are already there. That's why I was asking for some of those companies to make it easy for us to go off this call and be intentional in checking which place or who to contact or who knows someone that can lead me to Bella Wine to ask them how they did it. So we need to build a culture of quality in our businesses. If we're going to build a legacy and businesses bigger than us, if we are going to be investor ready, if we are going to increase our sales, and if you're going to improve our market share. But above all, if we are going to maintain the businesses, like Dr. Diana began in Uganda, we have a track record of starting businesses. Maintaining the businesses is the biggest problem. So attention to detail, attention to our customers, consistency in our products and services, but also we need to meet the regulatory requirements in regards to quality. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having me and for listening to me today. In case of any follow-up to this conversation, I will be typing in the chat my phone numbers. So over to you, Dr. Diana and Dr. Edith.
Thank you very much, Priscilla, for a great presentation. We appreciate your time. And thank you for finding time in your busy schedule to come and talk to us. I now see why you are an ISO certified auditor. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. You've told us about what quality is. You've told us about brands, creating brands and building your brand. You've told us about the challenges of quality. including issues to do with mindset, knowledge gap. You've taken us through practical steps to build quality, issues to do with the charity charter, having clear goals, being keen at inspection, being accountable, visibility, among others. I won't mention all. And you've guided us where we can also check to see people who can guide us in building quality. You've guided us to go to URSB, consulting others who are already having brands, and many others. I'd like at this stage to have you interact with people concerning if they have comments or questions, and allow me to invite Mr. Josh Karuhanga to lead us in the Q&A. Josh, please guide us in Q&A.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pasariwa. I'm going to guide us in the Q&A session this morning. So Q&A, we're going to carry it out in 3 different ways. You can either type your question in the chat directly. You could also type your question under Q&A itself, or you can raise your electronic hand and you'll be given permission to unmute and ask your question directly. So feel free to use any of those. I already see a hand from Dr. Samuel Mayanja. Kindly go ahead and unmute. Yes, Dr. Mayanja, you can now unmute your microphone and ask your question directly.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for your presentation. I've liked it. My question is on how customers perceive quality. I'll give you an example of Phil Rutaya. He composed the music early 80s, and the market rejected it, as much as his music was good. Now, he went to Sweden, he struggled with life, he composed 2 songs, one of them was Born in Africa. When he came back, now he was able to sell the old albums, which the market had rejected, but without doing anything on those albums. Then the other thing I want you to help me to appreciate is the Harrier car. They produced it focusing on the European market. The European market rejected it without clear reasons, and that's how they were able to sell it to Africa. So they sold it to Africa as a reject from Europe. And in Africa, we like it. It's a good performing car. What could be the reasons as to why the market may reject a product, as much as it may look to be of quality, but they don't appreciate it? What could be the reasons behind that? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mayanja. Let me allow just one more person, and then we can tackle both questions. Then Maureen Masindi, you can also unmute and go ahead and ask your question.
Yes. Thank you so much, Priscilla, for the presentation. I run a bakery in Masindi, and I'm concerned about maintaining quality in regard to having the workers appreciate that they have to be consistent in it. How best can one handle it? Consistency, so as to be able to get quality by the workers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maureen. I think I can hand these 2 questions over to you, and then I'll come back and give you 2 or 3 more.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll start with Harriet in Masindi, the bakery. Consistency, workers employing consistency. You remember that at the start of the practical steps, we talked about having checklists. Have the checklists in place. Number 1. Inspect to ensure that they are adhering to the checklist. You see, Uganda as a country, we have set a culture of putting things in places, even as a country, even at government level. We set policies, but we do not follow through on the policies. Isn't it what we say every day? Oh, they have set the law. No one will follow up. Now they're talking about babies, sitting in car seats. Seat belts. At some point, it was all about seat belt. Where is it today? Now, that culture is engraved even in our labor force. So you consistently have to check adherence. You have to set objectives, things as simple as the bread, the size of the bread. Okay. Who signs off that card that I have measured the bread is indeed 1 kilogram? Someone should sign off that card. Sometimes it's that simple that we have a quality card check that I look at what the customer wants, and then I get the ingredients as per what the customer wants, and I attach them to that card. And then it goes to the second person, the producer. The producer is checking what there is a company that I usually audit. They make furniture. Their quality, they have controlled quality in a simple way. It is a card. They attach the customer requirements. They know this is a bed. It's going to be this size, this kind of wood. Procurement stores gets the card, pins the customer requirements. It moves to the second level, third level, fourth level. So before you get to do your work, you have to check, what does the customer work? Did the previous person do the right thing before you proceed? So we are checking each other. I don't know if you find that, Harriet, as very practical, but consistency and can only be built through checking, and do not drop the ball in checking. Human mindset is always waiting to see you drop the ball, and then they also drop the ball. Doctor asked about Fide Lutaya and the Hariaka perceptions. When you look at what customers define as quality, it differs. That's why I gave the example of someone loves a yellow shoe or red shoe, the other one prefers a black shoe. Okay, sometimes quality is defined from those perceptions, different markets or different qualities. So did Fide Lutaya at that point understand the people he was giving the music to? Let's look at Chameleon. We all know Chameleon. Chameleon was a hit in Kenya. He was never hit in Uganda until at point, he was more popular at some point in Kenya than in Uganda. And later on, the Ugandan population did catch up, and it's okay. You listen to the story of Amazon, they'll tell you how many years did they work before being appreciated that what they were bringing was indeed what the people needed. So sometimes a good entrepreneur is that person that ventures in the blue ocean in bringing to us what we don't even know that we need. But the question is, what is your why? What is your X factor? Why have you started your business? If you came into business because your manager made you angry and you're like, me and employment, bye-bye. Let me go and start my car business and be happy. If that is the reason why you began the business, you will not appreciate the stories of the Lutayas and what they went through. Even safe border, the guys had one border for I don't know how long. If your why is to build a legacy, if your why is to build something bigger than you, to build something for your children's children, you will appreciate that phase where probably the customers do not know what they want, but at point X, like the Amazons were able to do, they got to appreciate. But importantly is also to understand, and to give the example of Nokia. At some point, Nokia knew what Africa wants. Then at some point, they forgot what we want. And then where are they today? So it is a balance. It is important to try to understand the market, but also understand your why. That's why it's very important to gazette your brand. Okay, gazette it. And tomorrow, when Fide Lutaya is away, but I'm sure proceeds are still coming in for his family if he wanted to build a brand. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Doctor. And there is a very amazing story actually on the Harrier, no, not the Harrier car, the other car that the Americans love so much. I'm forgetting. I'll get the name before we end. I'll tell you.
Thank you for answering those. I'm going to read for you, I think, about 3. Give you a chance to speak and then move on to the others. So I'm going to read the first 2 coming from the Q&A. One from James, who says, "Thank you, Priscilla, for this critical topic. Kindly throw more light on service quality and product quality." That is one. Then the other comes from Angel Gabriel Chiaga, who says, "Hello, Miss Priscilla. Thanks so much for this We appreciate your time, but considering the unique constraints and objectives of small businesses, I would like to explore the applicability of frameworks such as total quality management, Lean Six Sigma, Baldrige criteria for performance excellence. Could you provide insight on how these methodologies can be tailored to suit small business operations, and what specific tools or techniques such as statistical process quality, failure mode, and effects analysis, I'm skipping some, would be most effective in driving process optimization and quality enhancements. I hope you got that. Should I read another? Because that one was kind of two in one. Let me read just third one coming from the chat. Madam Sheila Kasuja says a great presentation and asks, have you picked a few, she has picked a few issues to incorporate in her service delivery. A quick one, sometimes we are compromised by quality. Our customers demand a higher service quality, yet financially it is a bit expensive with little to no profits. What's your comment on that? So let me hand these three questions over to you, and then we'll come back for another round of Q&A.
Okay. Before I go to those, I want to really expound on the Phile Lutaya and the Harrier thing. I'll give an example of the Lexus. The Lexus is a Toyota car. The Americans had rejected it. The sales were not good, but Toyota knew everything around it was good. Americans love big things. It was a big car. It was a luxurious car. It had so it had nothing to do with performance. But the Americans were like, we will not drive a Toyota. No. They sat, did troubleshooting. They did not change anything on the Lexus. They changed the name. So the Lexus stands for Luxurious Export to US, and is performing well. So it was a matter of perception. Like some of us will say, for me, if it's not a German car, I am not driving. But guess what? It is a car like the Betis. It will take you to and fro. I've seen even those very tiny Benzes like Betis, and someone is dying to drive that tiny Benz. And you wonder, why could they drive a tiny Betis? It is an issue of perception or a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes we attach that to quality. Okay, I have a question on service quality versus product quality. So service quality is, let me begin with the product quality. What am I producing? I am producing shea butter, or I am producing honey. That is the product. Now the taste of the product, the look of the product, the branding, that is when you answer positively to those, how does it taste? How it's clean? In what amounts? Are you packaging in the right amounts? How have you packaged? That is now product. That is quality related to the parameters, key parameters to quality related to the product. Now, when it comes to service, okay, when it comes to service quality is now the how. Like I shared, when we all go to KFC, we love the ambience, we love the packaging. I love that they use paper. So it means health-wise, probably I'll not get cancer. They're cognizant of environmental needs, sustainably selling. When it came to service, I got a wrong product. Was the taste the same? Yes. Good? Yes. But in terms of number of pieces, they were different. Now, when I called to raise my complaints, now that is service. How they spoke to me. Did they even respond to me? The answer is no. The solutions that they gave me was so out of my mind. How do I drive for 2 pieces from Rubaga to Lugogo? Now that is service. When you are selling, some of us are selling supplements to customers. Someone sends you supplements and tells you 2 spoons in 1 cup. And then you have to ask, is it a coffee cup or my Tampeco or a mug? And tells you a mug. And then you have to ask, do I take when it's cold or it's lukewarm? Then they tell you, oh, it has to be hot like tea. Please give me all the information. at once. I don't have to text you 10 or call you 5 times to get all the information I need about the product. That is service quality. Things around timely delivery, things around the person that you send, the politeness and courtesy of the person that you send to us, that is service quality. I hope I've done justice to that. Then the applicability of Kaizen, Six Sigma, and all those standard tools in terms of improvement of processes. Kaizen, Six Sigma, total quality, these have been proven methods by our countries in the developed countries, Japan and the others, in terms of improving quality. And this is how we came up with quality. But it's as simple as identify. Okay, in ISO we call it PDCA. I don't know why they call it in Six Sigma. Plan. Now I've talked about how your suppliers affect your quality. So what are you going to do? Number one is to plan and say, okay, who is affecting my quality? Number one, my supplier. Under planning, ask yourself, who defines my quality? Customer and regulator. You're planning. And then you ask yourself, how does the supplier affect my quality? You start. Now the NASA guy doesn't deliver on time. Now, sometimes the quality of what they are delivering. Sometimes they're not flexible. I have an emergency, they can't come. You're planning. And now what are you doing? Identifying your risks. And then come up with plan B. Plan B is mitigation. Okay? That is planning. We are in Six Sigma now. It's simply telling us plan your actions. So after you planned your action, what do you do now? You come with mitigation measure, you're controlling. So ask yourself, I have a team like Harriet's team that is not appreciating consistency. So what am I working on? Different, you're working on consistency. Now start planning for consistency. What do I need? So when you go step by step and break it down, simple solutions. Let's not overthink things as adults, but very simple solutions. How do I make sure that my branding material is consistent? Or I'm using one person. Maybe I am having this vacancy here, my daughter, and the other cousin who is not working. If I buy my printer here, can't I control it in my house? Before it goes out, I am checking. Because guess what? You're still making 50 sales a week. You can clearly start doing this before outsourcing it. In fact, you'll even be saving money. Okay? So that is, for the person who asked, that is how we are small. So you do not have to bring an expert in Six Sigma and Kaizen. No. Go get the principle and customize it to your needs. Customize it to your needs. Even as in big factories, we do this. And you're thinking, production, something is not matching. We are not getting what we need to get from this. What do you do? Immediately you call the team on ground. Why are we producing this number of tons for 20 minutes, not 15 minutes? You find out. Only to realize, guess what? We didn't hit that because we're using diesel and not power. And then go and ask for 3-phase. I don't know if I've done justice to that question. I think there were 2 in 1.
Yes, I do.
Can you remember? Yes, what was the
one? Well, they talked about how to drive optimization and quality enhancement, which I think you have touched on. But I wouldn't want to go so much in it because we have so many other questions and I know we're running out of time.
Okay.
Maybe let me read one more, and also Dr. Edith, you could maybe guide me, and should I ask a few more questions? But there's just one more here. There are so many others, but I'm just going to read one more that's in the Q&A from Jalia Tusime, who says, for entrepreneurs who won't afford to certify their teams, but need training for their teams on quality assurance, are there institutions that can assist in empowering small teams in the country? I'm going to read another short one, which comes from Honorable Roy, who asks us the difference between warranty and guarantee. And then Maureen, the one who has a bakery in Masindi, is asking for if you have any mentorship trainings. So maybe you can also just address that. And then I think we will be able to close Q&A because we're running out of time.
Okay, thank you so much. The difference between warrant and
guarantee.
And guarantee. Okay, so warrant or guarantee oftentimes we use them interchangeably, okay? And they are usually used for products, okay, not services. So I want to give an example of a TV. I buy a TV and I'm told I have 1 year warrant. And oftentimes they'll tell you, or the person selling to you will explain to you what this warrant means. So warrant simply means that in case specifics of these TVs that need repair get issues within 1 year, and it's not because of your negligence, okay, I will repair this TV free of charge. And a warrant is something that is legally enforceable. Legally enforceable. Or a battery. Most of us have cars, okay? So a warrant is basically a promise by the manufacturer that I have produced this, it's meeting the standards. If it's used well within 1 year, you shouldn't be having problems. Now, when you go asking for your warrant, they will check what caused the problem. If it's your child that poured milk in the TV, that is not part of the warrant, okay? Now let's look at the guarantee. Guarantee is more of assurance. Just like you said, tell someone, I guarantee you if you go and you study this, okay, these will be the benefits. So it's more of, sometimes it's written, sometimes it's verbal, but at the end of the day, it is used to ensure that the customers, okay, are comfortable. And it's a selling technique, okay? It's a selling technique. Guarantee, importantly to note, it's not enforceable. Like we said, the warrant is enforceable. That's why you see, for every time you give a warrant, it has to be written, because we want someone, it's formal, we want someone to go back and, to come back and claim their warrant. Okay. So that is what I can share on warrant and guarantee. Okay, there was a question on, are there places where small businesses can go and have these kinds of training? Yes, my presentation I did talk about UNBS, okay? And we do have different people who have consultancies, including myself. I do train, implement, audit, inspect, as per the different standards that I'm audited for. So I'll be dropping my my contacts in the chat. I hope MUBS also has something in quality. I'm not so sure. If we don't have, I'm very sure they have had the call. They will put something in place. And also mentorships are very important. I would really encourage you to look at the Ugandan entrepreneurs who have made it and see how to speak to them and get practical skills away from the theoretical skills. Today I can speak about quality because I have mentored and supported so many companies and SMEs. I love SMEs. This is how Dr. Dana came across me. Supported SMEs, not the Vivo Energies of this world, but SMEs, okay, in updating their quality to international standards without even getting certified. Okay. Did I miss anything?
I think maybe the only thing was just to talk about if you offer any mentorship.
Yes, I do. And I'll be sharing my details here. Someone was asking for the percentage of discertified and certified customers. Okay. We are told that roughly 68% of customers churn because of bad service. Okay. This is by growth partnerships. Of course, so many other researchers have come up with like Crop Inc., like Forbes, about why customers churn. But at the end of the day, when you read 60 plus and above is because of bad customer service, and which means poor treatment, indifference, rude, inconsistency, unreachable customer support, unfriendly, all then that bad customer service. Now the balance is shared between cost of the product and others. So if you're looking at 68%, meaning we have 32%. Only 32% is between cost and other factors on why customers churn. Any question I've not answered?
Thank you very much. There are so many questions, but because we're running out of time, I may have to close Q&A at this very moment and hand it back to the host this morning. So I just want to let you know that in case your question has not been answered, our team is noting it down. We are going to compile them and share them with the speaker to answer them outside the session, and then share the answers in our WhatsApp group. There's a link to that WhatsApp group in case you're interested in joining our business network group. Kindly check the chat. There's a link that will take you directly to that WhatsApp group. So in case you still have questions, kindly type them in the chat. Thank you very much for answering them, and I want to hand it back to the host this morning, Dr. Edith Basalio. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh, for managing the Q&A. And I'd like to appreciate Madam Priscilla Batenga for interacting further with the participants on this group. Thank you so much for finding time in your busy schedule to come and discuss all this with us. We appreciate, and hope you remember to put your number in the chat, because the participants are requesting for your contact. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning. At this stage, I know we've gone beyond the top of the hour. I would like to invite the Principal, Makerere University Business School, Professor Moses Mwezi, to give his closing remarks. Technical team, please unmute Professor Mwezi if he's on. Help him to unmute, and he gives his closing remarks. Principal, please.
Doctor, he was on, but seems like
all right. I'd like to appreciate everybody. Is Director Charles Olopoti on? Could you unmute him to give closing remarks? Director Charles Olopot, Director of the ICT Center, MUBS.
Thank you very much, Dr. Edith. And a very special thank you to Priscilla Batenga for this wonderful presentation on building a culture of quality in your business. There's no doubt that learning has taken place, and especially with the kind of interaction that we are getting from the participants. I've been looking at the charts. Definitely, it's a very important thing in those businesses, and you have made that contribution, at least in highlighting the importance of this. I was listening to you from the beginning. One of the statements you said first, that the happy customer is the best form of advertising. And even throughout your presentation on this subject, what is coming out very clearly is that, yes, we talk about quality, but the final yardstick about quality is actually the customer. And this also aligns with a lot of definitions that the different people are giving. Finally, it is the customer. Whatever the businesses, as businesses we do, whatever we do, it must finally be vetted by the customer, who will say whether the quality has taken place. There's quality in the product or service. From your presentation, what we note that quality must not just happen on the product, but also must be happen on the service. And in fact, across the value chain. You gave an example of where a quality product, there was quality in the product, but it was killed. The quality aspect was killed by the service provided. There was no quality in the service provided. So what we've picked from you is that quality must begin from on the product and throughout the value chain, and most importantly, the service that you service that accompanies that product. And of course, you've also talked about you said also, so one important thing that you said that quality is not complicated. And you said one of the ways that we can be able to make sure that we ensure quality is through continuous improvement. And you have talked about the importance of training, continuous training, and learning from those who have gone there, who have made it. Seen from the chat, people have mentioned some of those businesses that depict quality throughout their service provision. We can learn from them. And of course, you also talked about the role of UNBS and the capacity building. We want once again, I want to thank you as a business school, as Entrepreneurship Innovation and Business Innovation Center. We want to appreciate you for accepting to come and speak to us, to speak to the businesses, and we appreciate you, and we pray that next time should we need to talk about this topic, hope you will be able to find some time within your busy schedule to come and empower our businesses. Thank you very much. And back to you, moderator, Dr. Edith Basabia.
Thank you very much, Director Charles Olupot, for your encouraging closing remarks. We appreciate you and thank you for encouraging us to continue in this line. And I would like to appreciate you for always logging on when the presentations are going on. We thank you once again, Madam Priscilla Batenga Mazzi, for your sharing knowledge with us. We appreciate your time. We would like to get in touch with you again, especially concerning the questions which are not yet answered. My technical team will get to you and will be able to locate the people who asked them and send them the feedback. Thank you everybody for logging on. We appreciate you. Kindly remember to log on again next week on Thursday, same time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Priscilla, kindly send your contact in the chat. People are waiting.
You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you till you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you got. No, don't let them see what you're not. 'Cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn path. So everybody's trying to find their way. And day by day you struggle. In this world you know you have to go. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. You know that you can be perfect, but nobody's perfect, darling. I love you just the way that you are. I love you just the way that you are. I love just stars in the sky. Oh, oh, oh,